So we had another product stream, which means another ban list and some okay announcements, right? But first off, let's talk about the ban list for Japan. No, this is for Japan, not for the English side. Of course, this might translate to the English side at some point. We might have a different ban list. We might have no ban list. We usually do get a different one, so we'll see, right? But this is only for Japan. So if you're going to play in Daivangasai next month, then this will apply for you because this gets applied on April 1. So first off, in standard, we have a choice restrict between Swirler and GG, right? This is just, I mean, I think we saw this coming. Chronojet is just a really, really good deck, and it's still doing really good. And if you're Bushiroad and you want to sell some product, and you see a deck that's been performing very well since like November last year, then you might want to hit this and make people play other decks. Or, you know, to balance out the format a bit, right? So this is a nice hit, right? If you buy the Chronojet deck set, then, you know, you can still buy it and not have an issue. There are replacements for Brainwash Swirler as well. Not as good as Swirler, but Swirler has been the one that everyone has been playing. So, you know, you're likely just gonna find a less good replacement, and the deck still will like do well. It'll still, as long as it's like ultra bad now, just be a bit fair. And the second one was Ava, right? Ava has still also been performing really well, especially since set 8. And this time they restricted Ava and Combine Rusher, just kind of hit it a bit. And I think it's the correct choice, right? People have been farming their promos. The promo is a really, really good card. The grade 1 promo, I mean, order. And I think keeping that in the deck is just, it makes the deck still good. But the Combine Rush just kind of nerfs its like turn 2 play, which is what they wanted to do. There's not really any replacements for this. I don't think. You just play other stuff and then just do that, and pretty much it. Like Combine Rush, a good card, but not really like a hyper required card at all. So you can just get rid of it and just play other stuff. Of course, your early game will be a bit nerfed, but otherwise, that's that. I think it's pretty good. Both of these decks have been outperforming other decks for a very long time now. So give it a light slap. It's not like nuking the deck. So there's still, you know, you can still play it and not feel too bad. And yeah, good bans. Good bans for standard, right? Moving on to V, and this is kind of where some of the question marks arise. So here we have Aglavale hit to 1, which is questionable, right? I think in the document it did say that they didn't like people using Aglavale multiple times, which is like, but who cares? Because, like, what is this deck doing? The Gear Chronicle ban is good, right? Hitting Colossus is what we got in English, and they're just gonna do it for Japan because the deck is still very, very strong, and like, it technically is still very, very strong. So if you have this ready to go in Japanese, then you still have it good to go. The weird one is the Meep getting unrestricted. So Meep was like doing very well. It got hit to 1. Now you can play it at 4 again. So you can pretty much play full power Melody. And we have the entire Bermuda line available for you to play, right? Prisms didn't get hit in Japan. Now Melody is back. So maybe, I don't know what like, I guess like if you have like 4 Excel circles as Melody, or more like 2, right? But 4 is a bit long. And then you have like a bunch of like intercepts, and you know, that's pretty good. Like multiple, like 4 intercepts means you can block like 4 attacks, but you know, Steammater gets like 7, 8, like, so I maybe kind of matches out, maybe like that. So I don't know. I think it's pretty interesting. We'll see how it goes. This one is kind of like a mid one for me, right? The Aglavale one's weird. The Colossus one is needed, but I feel like you do need more. And then the Meep one is like, I can deal, right? I can deal. And then the last one is Premium. Now this is where things kind of go weird. Let's talk about the obvious ones, right? Obvious one here is Stun vs Dragon to 1. We got that in English as well, because according to global results, which apparently they did take a look at as well, you know, Narukami was definitely outperforming a lot of decks before Worlds, so now it will not, maybe, right? You just have 1 Stun verse, that is. The other ones that are weird, though, well, the Colossus getting banned is also pretty straightforward, right? We got this in English as well. So yeah, basic, easy bans. Here comes the weird stuff. So we look at Vanquisher, full Bronto got banned, right? Banned, like full on banned. Sunverse only to 1, right? But yeah, full Bronto banned. Hook Shigarasu got banned as well. I think based on these cards, these are more likely history collection bans. I know in the PDF they said something about limiting card design, but if history collection is going to give us 2 force markers, 2 Excel circles, 2 protect markers, then it's pretty easy to like, you know, just drop a Kokushigarasu and watch your opponent cry, right? Same thing with Vanquisher, in case you didn't know, right? If you combine old Vanquisher and then, you know, just went up to Sunverse, right? And then you went down again, that's pretty good, you know? And then you go into a full Bronto, that's a lot, that's like 3 Excels, right? It's crazy. So yeah, I can see why they banned it if it's like a pre-ban for History Collection, because otherwise, you know, maybe the Vanquisher set is like out-spec'd, right? The other well, this wasn't a weird one. Englisa is banned, so they didn't like the idea that you can ride down, and I mean that's good, right? Ride down is a pretty boring format. I know a lot of people don't like it, so not being able to ride down for Gear Chronic is good. But where's the other decks that can ride down? We had Thavis that can ride down, which is a much more balanced ride down. We also had where's Highlander? Highlander's nowhere to be seen. All right, so they're just chilling. They're gonna continue their ride down game, but maybe because they don't have Lost Gear Dog 8, it might not be that easy for them to ride back up, but it's not. Take it from a pro. It's not that hard. All right, so you have quite a few of these. You have this Gear Chronic just getting pummeled here, but then you have Spangled getting banned. Now, I don't know about Spangled getting banned. It just feels like it's such a random ban. Like, what is a Great Nature been doing? Nothing, right? Like, Solemn Wishes Great Nature did something, but it doesn't. Let's be real. The reasoning for this ban was that they figured out that you could call your entire hand to the Guardian Circle and then use Spangle to go through your deck, and then use the one of the Premium Collection strides. I think it's like was it the first one? One of them that was, I think it was it started with the T, right? But it allows you to put cards back into the deck, so you can you call over your triggers and you put them back into the deck, and then you can trigger, right? So they didn't like that, so they banned it. But it just feels like who cares, right? This ban, this restriction could have been the Highlander restriction, but it isn't. So I don't know, man. I don't know. And then Katrina got unbanned. So this one's a bit of a weird one. So Katrina really didn't do anything when it comes to a ride down meta. Now it's kind of not a ride down meta, so Katrina can like do something now, right? But then it's gotten some new plant token support, so I don't know how busted it will be. I feel like unbanning it fully might be a bad idea. And I mean, we got better G Guardians though. We do have better G Guardians in some ways, so maybe you can kind of survive the multi-attacks of Katrina. But then again, like, Neonectar hasn't done jack all, right? So I don't know. We'll have to see. I feel like for the premium restrictions, this was kind of a mid, right? Well, not really a mid. Maybe some of them were like expected, some of them were unexpected, some of them just huge question marks. Like the Katrina, I can respect. I can respect them wanting to unban cards just to see how it goes. Luckily for me, I don't play in the premium format when this is available. Actually, I will actually work up my facing as Neonectars at Daivanga side, so maybe it'll be bad. But yeah, this makes it, yeah, this is kind of interesting. Let me know in the comments what you think of these ban lists, right? I think D is good. I think V is like weirdge, and then premium's like weirdge, right? So double G at the end. But let's kind of talk about the other stuff too. So there has been some other announcements, and these are the most important ones. But first off, Greedon is getting a mask form in Booster Pack 11. This is the most important news all day, right? Greedon is the boss, and now the boss is getting a mask. So, like John Cena, right? That's pretty cool. Set 11 will be out then, and basically, you know, when you see Greedon mask, all these other people don't matter anymore, right? These characters, not as good, right? Then next, we have a collab. So there's going to be a new collab for one of the comics. And this means that they are going to have some new alternate art, which is pretty cool. So these are famous artists drawing famous mangas right now, manga. And those artists will be drawing some cards for Vanguard. And they will basically be like alternate arts. So if you look at this one is the Forktail card, but you get a nice, pretty cool art. So I like this. You like this. If you don't like it, you should like it. It's pretty cool. I like it. It also means it's like some kind of a reprint, right? You know, in a way. So nice, but it's going to be a high rarity reprint. So that's it. And then the next one, we are getting new kind of, I think these are new start decks. So these will be limited in Japan to 10,000 copies, but apparently we are getting this in English. So that's good. We're getting the Graham Grace, Favnir, and the Orphist kind of starter decks. And that's great, because that means we finally get Favnir in English. Maybe we'll get some Graham Grace good support. And these will cost a bit of money though. I'm looking at this like 4,300, but yeah, it should be good, right? Any way for players to get into the game is good in my books, and they look like they're getting some pretty good stuff. Albeit looks like a bit slightly expensive, you know. And then lastly, we are getting reprints. So these are coming out in the Festival Collection reprints. This probably explains why our box toppers for set 9 and 10 looked pretty bad. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you know, when we were looking at those promos, we're like, what? But this does mean these are getting reprinted. I think for us, Halbei is the big one, just because it's like crazy price at the moment. But yeah, the other ones are pretty good too. So Shelling Cannon, I forgot this name, but the Blaster one is pretty good. We don't really need that many copies of this, so these are fine. But Petralka, I think we're getting it for the Springfest, right? Like participation. So this one might not be that needed. But yeah, these first three are basically really important. So that's good to see. At least we're getting that kind of promo support, which is great, right? Coming out soonish in English. And then lastly, we do have a product release schedule for Japan. So, you know, soon we are getting History Collection. Like Festival History is like May. We know these. June 2 is the set 11. And then Token Rambo is getting the second set in the 23rd of June. Then these new stuff is coming out July 7. And then DB12 is sometime in August. And then DBT13 is sometime in September. So is that like a 1 month difference? Right? A 1 month difference. That's a bit soon. Yeah? What this does say, though, is that we don't really see any V collection stuff, right? Or premium collection stuff. So I guess this history collection is the thing that is pretty much dominating the entire year. I don't know if that's good for V, though, because V is kind of boring. I mean, they can change the list up a bit to make it spicier, but that doesn't mean that things will be that unstale. So hopefully we do get some more info. We are getting like promos for them too, but yeah, that is it. Let me know what you guys think of the entire thing. Let me know what you guys think of the ban lists. I gave you just a quick breakdown of the ban list. I think it's at pretty average. If I was a player, I think I'd be playing Highlander, or you know, maybe other decks, right? Maybe other decks, now that you don't have to worry about Steam Maidens or like losing 4 cards. Maybe other decks are fine now. So yeah, I'm a washed up player. Don't just trust me. I'm pretty sure maybe there's other decks you can play. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you all tomorrow, right? Bye.